Hey everybody, welcome back to Ogre Speed Shop. So we are gonna take this motor that we know runs and has good oil pressure and get it prepped to go in the 1970 GMC. So let's get into it. All right, when I say get it prepped, what does that mean? That means we are taking everything off of it and we're gonna break it down, get the fuel injection off it because I'm gonna do a carburetor on it. But I just wanna make sure that the bottom end was good enough to run, and so far it is. So that's what we're gonna do. So one of the things is these exhaust manifolds. Another reason why we need to switch everything out is because those won't fit in the frame of the GMC because the frame is narrower back there than it is here. You see how it kicks out? Well, it doesn't do that on that. So those exhaust manifolds won't fit. And also, I don't want to deal with the hassles of trying to get all the fuel injection stuff working on this. It'll be a lot easier with the carburetor and just a regular distributor in the back. So that's what we're gonna do. So let's get into it and start tearing parts off of this thing. So that was kind of a pain in the butt getting all that wiring off of there. So this is why I want to go carb, because look at that mess. I mean, that's ridiculous. And GM, in their infinite wisdom, let me find it here. Right there. On their selector switch on the transmission, they glue the plugs in. I forgot about that. I ran into that working on F-bodies back in the day. But those are glued in there, so you can't even unplug it. You have to pull the whole module off the shifter. But whatever, we got down to this to almost a bare block now. So it'll be a lot easier to pull out now and start converting to carburetor. All right, so I got most of the stuff off of it, ready to come out. So there's just the two motor mounts and the transmission mount back here to pull the whole block. But first I want to pressure wash it and get all that grime off of there and see, get a better idea of what we're working with here. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and tear into the timing cover, oil pan, replace the oil pump, timing chain, everything while I'm at it, just because might as well. It's not in the vehicle yet. Now's the time to do it, so I don't have to worry about it later on. But today and yesterday has been unusually cold here for April, and I can't pressure wash it yet because it's too cold. So tomorrow it's supposed to be in the 70s, even maybe 80. So I'll pull it out and pressure wash everything. Then we'll pull this out of the frame tomorrow. Let's go ahead and get this thing pulled outside so we can get the pressure washer fired up and get her cleaned. I'm sure did make a mess of the joint having that in here, cleaning it up. But nothing a broom can't handle, and maybe a little of the kitty litter dry, oil dry stuff. We got her mostly cleaned up. That's a lot of it's gonna be scraped on once I get it off the off the drivetrain, rest of the drivetrain and out of the frame. So that's good enough for now. And I got most of the crap off of there, a lot of the big chunks, as you can see, all the chunks underneath here. But first thing we gotta do is get the garage cleaned up, get the Mustang out of there, get it set up so we can get the hoist on there and pull everything out. All right, so we got her back in the shop here so we can get the engine hoist underneath it. Problem is it's a little too high. So for one, I'm gonna move it forward on the trailer, and then take the wheels off of it and drop it down so it's all the way down, since the hoist is gonna be going under the trailer. And so yeah, so it'll give me that much more clearance to get the hoist in there and get her out. But I gotta move her forward first. Let me go ahead and record this because it's always a little more fun to document stuff that might go wrong. So I'm just gonna pull the chocks out and hopefully it'll start rolling. Or my chalk. That's awesome. Like I said, that's what happens. Release the ratchets here. Yeah, perfect. Cool. All right. It's a much better location to get the stuff off. One thing I definitely want to do before I drop it all the way down to the frame is at least get the transmission mount out, because I won't be able to get that if it's all the way down its frame. This is actually 5/8 like it used to be. This transmission bolts out of there. Now I think we're good enough to get to drop the whole frame down, get the wheels off and drop her down. All right, so I got her all chained up. Remove the distributor kit so I don't break it, but we'll see how this does, if I have to move it back a little bit further to counteract all that. But that's where we're at right now. Make sure that's actually closed. And we gotta get the motor mount bolts out because, yeah, those motor mounts are completely destroyed. I love when the motor mount bolts just come straight out like that. All right, it's time to see if this thing will lift out of here or not. That'll do for now. All right, we got the trailer out of the shop now, so we got working room again in here. So we need to separate these. I need an engine stand first though, so I might run down to Altus and see if they got one in stock or not. I gotta pick up prescriptions anyway, so might as well. So at least she's out. All right, just got back from Harbor Freight and got these, the engine stand, and it's not the kind I like. They have two different ones you can get. This one has like a grease fitting, and the wheels, when you attach them, they crush the freaking metal. Whereas this one over here, which is like built like the old school ones, got the wheels out there like that. They bolt onto a plate right there. There's nothing to interfere you with rotating this, and it's just bolted together better. So I don't know. See, I got one like this too. It's just, that one just seems weaker to me, but I don't know. You never know which one you're gonna get because they're both the same part number. But anyways, let's get this motor separated and on the stand. All right, so the first thing we gotta do is get this cover off the transmission here. And then I'm gonna lift it up. Actually, might do that first. Lift it up and put it on this cart so we have the transmission on something. Get these braces off here first. It must be a four-wheel drive thing because I've never seen that before, but got a brace going down to an aluminum cover for the torque converter. Because it's a 4L60, it's got metric bolts and everything on it, even though the engine is still standard, because it's a standard small block Chevy, so pretty much still. And 3. Torque converter separated, cool. Dang, it's still funky. I guess we'll find out here in a second. Let's get these bolts off of here. Light here, 9/16, so they need deep for that. Just separated, so that's good. Not sure what's going to happen here. Hopefully, just transfer this weight to the dolly, and the engine just kind of stays. Okay, see if it's gonna work. That's just water for me cleaning it, so it shouldn't be too bad. It is facing the wrong direction. Stand, and because of the way it's designed, this doesn't come out. Well, it could, but right now I have everything on it, so. But yeah, I'm gonna lose the impact. It goes off, one over there. I found it. Alright, slowly put it down, make sure this thing can actually hold its weight. There we go. Yeah. Alright, so we got it on the stand. Now we can start tearing things off of it, like the exhaust manifolds, motor mounts, front cover, valve covers, intake, to get it ready for to do a carb conversion on it. I think the HEI distributor I have will work. We'll find out. If not, I'll have to figure that one out. Other than that, it's time to tear into this a little bit further. We're gonna break into this thing here and get the manifolds off, motor mounts off, as much as I can get off of it. So you want to venture a guess? Put it down in the comments. How many bolts am I going to break off on these exhaust manifolds? So like I said, leave it down in the comments. So believe it or not a single bolt broke on those exhaust manifolds. And I've never pulled an EGR tube out that didn't give me problems. I sprayed it down with a little PB blaster, and it loosened right up on both ends. I couldn't believe that. That's crazy. But yeah, the EGR tube just came right off. Pretty crazy. So let's move on with the teardown. Next thing we're going to pull off is the upper plenum. So y'all can see what this considered the spider fuel injection. At least that's what I call it. So what we're gonna do is get that off there. There's a couple brackets and stuff that are in the way, but they're all 10mm bolts by the looks of it. Helps to loosen, not tighten. So the last time I dealt with the Spider fuel injection was on I can't remember, 2000 S10 maybe, 2001. And when I went to pull it off, my God, it was just coated in carbon. So I had to clean all that up to get it to run, and then it didn't run because it had a bad fuel pump. And that was the main problem with it in the first place. A buddy of mine was going to buy it off of a friend of his or a guy he worked with, and left it at my house for me to play around with and look at, and I was waiting on them to tell me what to do. And then the kid ended up getting a new car, and he didn't want it, and my buddy didn't want it anymore, and so I ended up getting it. So I fixed it and sold it. So I made a good profit on that one. So let's see if we can get this. Okay, what am I forgetting? Got all the bolts. I'm gonna pull the injection off of here. Something's holding it down. I don't remember. Don't think that's gonna be what's holding it. I do remember it had freaking, they were into each individual cylinder, but maybe it just needs pried up. Oh, yep, there we go. Ah, definitely a lot of carbon in here. Take a look at that. It's just all that carbon buildup. The one I did on the S10, this throttle body was so caked up it wouldn't even open. All right, let's bring it in here. This is what they consider, or what I consider, the Spider fuel injection, because it looks like a spider. It's got 8 legs. Now the S10 only had 6. It was a V6, so do we keep going, get down into the intake, see what the valley looks like? I think it's a good idea. Let's do that. These appear to be all 13s, maybe halves, because the head should still be standard size bolts. I definitely want to play in that. Switch over to half. Yep. It still amazes me, these Vortec heads and stuff don't have any fasteners in the middle. It's only 2 on each end on the outside. All right, we should be loose, but we're loose enough. Find a place to get under it. Boy, I hear it crackling. There really isn't one. Oh, here we go. Just like that. Oh, figures you gotta get the valve covers off first. All right. 3/8 or 10? 3/8. At least we get to see exactly what we got to deal with this motor. And the valve covers are stuck. There we go. Those have been replaced, the valve cover gaskets. That doesn't look too bad in there. God, man, it is really stuck on there. Time to scare the duck. He hates the air hose for some reason. It's one of the few things that actually scares him. So they glued the valve covers down too. It's a different valve cover gasket. Yep, different valve cover gasket. That's pretty typical. The PCV side of it is pretty nice and clean, and then the suction side of it's kind of dirty. But overall, it's pretty good. Now you can get the intake off. That's a lot heavier than it looks. Being aluminum, it's kind of heavy. A little sludgy. I don't know how many miles this thing has on it either, so. The one thing that I like about it though, being that it's newer, is that right there. It's got a roller cam, so it's got roller lifters on it, hydraulic roller lifters, so less likely to lose a lobe on a cam that way. All right, let's get this timing cover off so we can see what the chain looks like as well. Let's see if this gun's enough to pull it off. It's also, the battery's kind of dying on me too. Look at that nastiness. Probably use a new balancer too, just because they wear out over time. The rubber part starts to deteriorate over time. Did I say that right? Deteriorate. Deteriorate. But you know what I mean. So interesting thing, unfortunately, they says right there, replace assembly upon removal. So if you remove this timing cover, it's plastic for one, and I have yet to find a aluminum replacement, which would be nice. And because I don't need the crank sensor, but I haven't yet to find anything aftermarket yet. But I haven't looked super hard. But yeah, this is plastic. It says if you remove it, replace it. So I'll be replacing that as well. These bolts have a sleeve on them, so you can't over torque it. Oh, it's got seals all around it too. Judging by all this, I'd say the front seal's been leaking. Before we cleaned it, I guarantee almost the timing cover itself has been leaking. Yep, got some water in there from when we pressure washed it. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about as far as the chain goes. That thing is worn out. So it'll run that much better once we replace that. Stupid plastic. This is your reluctor wheel for your crank sensor. There's a pickup right there. See how it's magnetic? And that reads these four things to let you know that you're rotating, basically. But overall, I'm not too unhappy about the way everything looks. And the chain's got who knows how many miles on it. So replace the chain, we replace the oil pump, and all the good stuff. So we know we got everything working the way it should. Not ready to pull the pan yet. Tell you what, one thing's for sure, this thing's been off-road because it is muddy, dirty, grimy. So the four-wheel drive was well used. But anyways, I'm just rambling now. I just got back from O'Reilly's. They had the timing chain in stock. And I went there originally thinking I was getting the roller one, which was like $30 more, but I don't really need it. So I was happy when I had the wrong store entered in the O'Reilly's website. So they actually had the regular stock one in stock. So good to go on that. So just got to put it on. Then we're going to pull the pan off. It's in a bag right now. I also wanted to show you this. The remainder of the truck is gone. I took it to scrap this morning. And now my trailer's free again. And there's nothing left of it other than the drivetrain. So we got the motor, transmission, and I think I put the diff back here. So there's the front diff. So, yep. Got her all broke down, but we're gonna get back onto the engine here, get the timing chain installed, get the pan pulled off, cleaned up, and check the oil pump, see if the one I have will work. It's a small block Chevy one, but finding out that this Vortec motor is a little different on every aspect, so we'll see if the pump works. Otherwise, I have to order a new one for that. All right, let's go get this timing chain installed. Okay, so you want to make sure the dot is facing outward. I think I've already got it set to top dead center here, so I got tools spread all over the shop right now. So I'm using this big old 1 5/8" socket. It's mostly a slip fit. So I tried using the Cloy's double rolling timing chain I already have that I bought for the 350, the 1982 350 that was in my 1970 GMC. But problem is the hole pattern is different for the cam, so it would not work. So I went to O'Reilly's, got this one. So I was gonna get the single roller one, but it was like 80 bucks, and I thought they had it in stock, and they didn't. I think I kind of said this earlier. But it was, I had the wrong store set for on the website, so it was wrong. So they had this store, my normal store in Elk City, had the actual stock one. So it saved me 30 bucks, which is good because I'm not building a race motor here. I'm building a stock motor basically. And that fit right on. And I just had the bolts. What did I do with them? There they are. Just Loctite. And something else, if you see right there, when you're grinding with the cutoff wheel, be careful. You might cut into your knuckle. It's not a good thing. It's just so awkward using my left hand like that. 1/2 inch. Just said all my tools are spread out everywhere. There it is. Found it. That's quite a bit tighter than the old one. And that's after. Big difference. All right, cool. I got a torque on the spec, but my thumb is, or my finger is throbbing. All right, so that's on. Now we can start pulling the pan off. So I got the oil drain on this thing and put the pan, or the drain bolt back in, drain plug, whatever you want to call it, and discovered something. So this is fun. I noticed it was a little tight pulling it out, but look how easy it is to just keep on turning. So that plug is completely stripped out. And so probably buy a new pan. They're only like 40 bucks at Summit. So again, waiting on parts. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and pull the pan off though, so we can at least see what it looks like, and then we'll go from there. So the bolts are on the oil pan are 7/16 on all the middle bolts, and the 4 outside bolts are 1/2 inch. This is gonna be fun because they're covered in grime. Okay, the 3/8. So you notice I'm wearing a glove on this hand, even though I don't really need to, but that's because of my finger, keeping it protected. So I'm going to unbolt this oil filter housing too. Good thing I swept it here earlier. Okay, so there's this oil filter adapter over here. That thing right there that is in the way of me getting the pan off. So we gotta take that off. And those are 2 1/2 inch bolts. I got a feeling removing this is gonna make a mess, so I'll go prepare for it, right? I'll have to be checking this out because that just gets in the way of everything. I don't know why. I mean, I can understand it if there's actually a cooler, but there's no lines coming off of it. I guess it's blocked, but still it goes, it's pointed towards the inside of the block. So I don't know what that's gonna do. All right, so we got that off now. We can get the rest of the bolts off. So one thing I like to do when I'm tearing down a motor like this is I like to drop the oil pan when it's on the bottom instead of flipping it over. Because if there's sludge or metal or anything like that, you don't want it to fall down into the motor after you take it off. So, or when you flip it over, I should say. So I always do it this way, where I drop the pan from the bottom. That way all the sludge and all the crap comes with it. Just gonna scrape around the edge a little bit here. These outside bolts are actually nuts. They're studs. All right, last bolt. Get off me. All right, there you have it. So I've already got a Melling high flow oil pump for a small block Chevy. I think it should be the same. But I don't know, we're finding out a lot of things are not the same on this thing. But we'll make it all work. Now that the oil pan's off, we can flip it over because nothing can fall down into the rest of the engine now. All right, it's time to make the real mess. Flip this thing over. So where all the stuff's going to start flowing out of it. Not too bad, because we got the block drain. I pulled the drain plugs for the water jackets and drained the oil. It's been sitting for a while. So one of my biggest problems I have is I have a shop duck that likes to eat rags, and he also likes to stick his face and beak into oil pans. There we go, that'll be good enough. Does it even have a gasket on it? That gasket is done. This gasket is not sealing anything. This thing has definitely been a leaker for a while. But we will fix it. Yeah, that rear seal for the pan was bad. There's just oil everywhere. You can see it. It was leaking out of there. Get the oil pump off. Now we gotta take this little windage tray off the whole way to get that off because it's underneath it. So what, 4 bolts gotta come out. And these are 5/8 headed bolts. Oh, wait a minute. Those are not. So these studded ones are 9/16. The oil pump bolt is a 5/8. All right, so the oil pump bolt is a 5/8 headed bolt. Here comes the best smell you'll ever smell. It's when you pull these freaking old bolts out. All that old oil is hidden in somewhere, and it's always smells so good. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same one as I have. You do not help, you know that, right? And so the pumps I always put in my small blocks. Well, started my LT1s, the 93 to 97 LT1 engines. And they're all the same because they're basically small block based. This is a 98, so this is right before they all went LS. But I always use the Melling M55 HVs, which is the high volume oil pump. It should be exactly the same, I would think. So it should fit just fine, yep. And I always run the new drive shaft, which is a steel one. So it's got a steel sleeve instead of a plastic one. So that should fit right on there, yep. It should. It's a little tight right now, but we'll worry about that later. But that's the oil pump we're gonna be running. So this right here is what I'm talking about. See how it's metal sleeve? Where the original one's plastic. And that's brittle and gets broken, so you can't like pull it off there and replace it. Even the new ones, I've bought new ones with the plastic on them, and they end up breaking trying to put them on. So I always go with the metal ones. They're only like $2 extra, so I might as well get it. But that's what we're gonna do. So real quick, just want to show you this. This is a timing cover I bought for the 82 engine. The 350 is sitting over there in the corner. This is a timing cover, and on this timing cover, remember it being plastic, right? Well, it's also not, doesn't have the dowel pins, which you can easily install, but it's also missing a hole right here for one of these holes, but this will fit and line up on there. So you could run a standard oil or timing cover by the looks of it. We're going to look a little bit more into it. The timing mark's going to be different because on the plastic one, it's over on this side. So it'd be right here. But like the 1970 350 does have it over here. So I might be able to get that 1970 timing cover and make that work rather than running one of those plastic ones. Since we don't, the only reason the plastic ones are on there is to have the cam sensor, the crank sensor on it, which we don't need. And might still have to run it on there is the only problem because of the gapping for the space right here. But I don't know. I'll figure that out as we go. I might be able to put just a some kind of a spacer in there to get rid of that, so it won't hit the timing cover. But these will work, and I could probably get away with not even tapping that hole out. But this way I can run also a standard water pump. The only difference is this doesn't have the hole for that bottom port on the water pump, but I'm looking into it, so we'll definitely know for the next video on this what all we can do. I'll do it for this video on getting this motor prepped for the install in the truck. Definitely need some more parts, and we got to figure out some ways of making older parts fit on newer engines. But other than that, we'll cover that in the next video for this. So if you like this video, leave a like down there, leave me a comment, let me know what I can do, what I can do better, and subscribe while you're at it if you want to. It's free, why not? And again, I appreciate y'all being here, especially till the end. So until next time, I will see y'all later.